So here we are again. Hello, everybody. This is Angelika Christie with our daily 11-minute thoughts on how to create happiness in your physical body, in your mind, in your philosophy and spiritual beliefs, and also practical things. Beauty, all of it. So I am a little bit rushed because I just finished with my graphic designer who is doing the graphics for my upcoming retreat that I'm going to launch probably within the next 48 hours. So it's a busy time of year, and the mind goes in all directions, right? Does that happen to you too? You just have so much to do on your to-do list that it's just a little bit overwhelming. So where do really our thoughts come from? Of course, we have to agree that they come from this powerful, complex brain that we have, right? And we say that thoughts are born in our mind. So then would you agree that everything that has ever been created on planet Earth by humans started with a thought? First, it started with a thought. And then, of course, that thought needed to be followed by action. So what do you mean when you say you want to accomplish something in your personal or your business life? What does it mean for you? Do you think it creates, it starts in your mind, or does it start in your heart? I believe everything starts first in our mind. And I believe that one of the most challenging yet also rewarding self-disciplines really is when we can bring this mind that goes in all directions all the time, when we can discipline it and bring it into alignment with what you want to experience. So why is that so challenging? Why? Because your mind is constantly taking stuff in. From the first day of your life, it was imprinted in all different ways, in all kinds of directions. And because we are not really aware of this, we get subconscious programming implemented constantly. Because we are capable of receiving all this information at the speed of light. We cannot be conscious of it because it happens much too fast. And we also know that the data that is imprinted in our subconscious mind creates certain behavior patterns. So our life is really run 95% by what we have experienced, even unconsciously. You have an experience without experiencing it consciously. Isn't that amazing? Since it's not important at the time, the mind stores it, kind of like a huge data, a big file cabinet with all of that data in it. For example, if you are bothered by something in your environment, or you're bothered by somebody, then this is really something that happens automatically. You don't really want to be bothered, but something bothers you immediately. It's like you cannot escape it. It happens automatically, and it's part of the program. Now, that same thing that bothers you and starts, that familiar train of thoughts, my God, why is that happening to me? And why is he doing this? And why he's not, or she's not doing that? And all of that happens, get triggers and happens automatically. It's really something that you would love to have control over, wouldn't you? And the thing is that it is not this this thing that bothers you or the person that bothers you, it is you that is bothered, because somebody else would very, very well not be bothered at all. So isn't that something that I would like for you to think about? The thing that bothers you is not in the thing, and the person that bothers you is not in the person, but it is the reaction of your mind creating an experience that you seem not to be able to escape. So you have something, can you come up with something that bothers you? Just bring something up. Take a moment, think about something or person that bothers you. Okay. Now imagine that thing, the situation or that person in the front of another person, that person may not be bothered at all by the person that you are bothered by, or the situation or that thing that bothers you. So there is really nothing wrong with the thing or the person itself, but with how you think about it, the thought that you create about it. Okay, let me quickly share a personal story that illustrates that. And this happened to me a couple of decades ago. And I actually wrote about that story, or put that story in the book with the title, The Thought That Changed My Life Forever. And it did. And this happened about 20 odd years ago. So I never forget that night when I was left alone in the kitchen with stacks of dirty dishes, dishes. That around that time, my husband and I, we would do a lot of, we had a lot of invitations, not just for our personal friends, but also for business friends. And so I entertained quite a bit. As the host of my house, and I always like to do everything especially nice, I brought out the best dishes, the best crystal glasses, the silverware, you know, all of the stuff that you don't put in the dishwasher. So 12 people, a lot of dishes. The guests said bye-bye shortly after midnight. My sweet husband helped put most of the dishes into the kitchen, and there I was. Stacks and stacks of beautiful china and crystal glasses, all soiled, but they were staring at me. And my husband said, good night, sweetheart. Just leave this for tomorrow. Come to bed, leave this for tomorrow. And that really bothered me, because as if I had some angels or some, by magic, these would be clean in the morning. Facing that in the morning for me was even worse than handling it right then and there. But I had this internal dialogue going on. This is not fair. Why do I have to do this? This is all on me. I have been laboring all afternoon and evening for this, and now it's after midnight, and now I still have another 2 hours or so in the kitchen. So this was going on for a while until I couldn't take it anymore. I just felt as if somebody was strangling me. My own thoughts were strangling me. And I never forget that I just needed to get out of the kitchen for a moment, and I went outside to onto the balcony, into this nighty cool breeze, the nighty the sky was so black and the stars were so beautiful and bright. And I took a deep breath, and it calmed me down somewhat. And I looked up into the sky, and I saw the moon and the clouds, and it looked as if the moon was racing across the sky. Just racing. It was quite windy, but the clouds, of course, were moving, not the moon. And yet it was such a strong image that my mind just really believed that the moon was racing. So all of a sudden it clicked. And I got this beautiful awareness. You know, when something happens within you that tells you, calm down, it is your perception that changes everything. Your perception is that the moon is racing, but the moon is not racing. So why don't you change your perception and see what it really is, and have the clouds be the one that's racing across the sky. And all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, I can change my perception, because that moment I felt so peaceful and so, I even felt my energy being up again, and I didn't feel exhausted. I felt elevated, elated by that experience of, my goodness, you can change your mind about something, or you can change your perception, and that then follows with changing your mind about something, and you have a different experience. That's what it really is. You get a different experience as soon as you change your mind about something. And so that's what I did. And I went back into the kitchen, and I didn't even feel the time anymore. I became very aware of the beauty of the dishes and how the soapiness. I became so mindful about what I was doing and finding joy in what I was doing, not seeing it as you know, having to do this, but choosing to do this and become very aware of the activity that I was involved in, that it changed everything. So I wanted to share that with you. When you have something that bothers you, I would like for you to just stop your thoughts and see if you can change your perception. Because when you change your mind about something, your experience becomes different as well. So that's it. We are a little bit over time here. This is it for me today, and for my sharing with you how you can create happiness in your mind, even though your mind may be occupied with something that is anything but happy. Change your mind about something, another perspective, another awareness, and you have a different experience. And that creates happiness in your mind, because nobody is responsible for your happiness but you. This is it for today. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye to everybody. And I see you tomorrow at 11:11 when we speak about philosophy. I'm going to find something that we go a little bit deeper into. It may be a spiritual theme. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day. I'm signing off. This is Angelika Christie.